Hello, hello. It is Monday, and I am being joined by my friend Beckett. This is my friend Beckett. You've met Socks, now you have met Mr. Beckett. I think he might have been on here once before. Hello from Pennsylvania. Hi, Peggy. Hi, Linda. I'm not sure who CNNJMM is from Pennsylvania. Hello, Denise. I don't know if YouTube is renaming people or what. This is Beckett. Yep. I'm trying to give you a good shot of him. This is Mr. Beckett. He is one of the two cats that adopted us. That's Connie. Oh, there's Connie. Okay. CNMJMM. Tell me who you are. Yes, this is Beckett, and he is a beauty. He really is a beautiful cat. I'm trying to give you a good shot. Oh, here, this'll get you. This'll get you. This'll get that face. That'll get you for real. Yeah, here he is. Joni. Okay. Good. Nice to meet you, Joni. I'm glad you're here. If you've been here before, I'm sorry I didn't recognize you. Yeah, so this is Beckett. Beckett and Socks are the two cats that adopted us right after we lost, I don't know, it was like in between losing Chance, my Siamese, and losing the dogs. These two cats adopted us from next door. And so, yeah, they're both delightful. This one has got the biggest feet. He has got huge feet. His body does not match his feet. He's huge feet. You're a quiet viewer. Okay, Joni, good. I'm glad you're not quiet tonight. That is wonderful. That's great. We always love having quiet viewers come visit with us. Yeah. Linda, please give Tim a big hug for me. I hope he enjoys seeing the cats. This thing, do you guys, I don't know if you remember or not, Chance and Charlie, my Siamese, drooled like there was no tomorrow. This one does the same thing. He drools. He likes to find a spot mostly in my elbow, he loves this shirt because it's a velour shirt. And he absolutely loves to find a spot. I think he must have left his mother too soon, and he likes to nurse anything soft. Soft shirt, flannel shirt, fleece blanket, they're all his favorite. And he will nurse. Oh my goodness, he is a mess. This cat is a mess. He and Socks are around 4 or 5 years old, but look at that face. How could you leave that face? Yeah, how could you leave that? He is a mess. Hey, Rhonda. Yeah, he is just such a sweet boy. Anyway, so you guys that wanted to see the cats, here's the other one. Tim loves the cats. Aww. The age of 19. Well, Chance made it almost to that. He sure did. Well, this is Beckett. He had a different name, but he had the same name as one of our other cats, the outdoor cats. So we had to rename this because it was getting to be too confusing. We had a long-haired black and white and a short-haired black and white, and they both had the same name. Ooh, he's not happy with me. He's flipping his tail. He's flipping his tail back here. Rhonda, it's good to see you. Hi, Terry. Yeah, so we have new sponsors. We have new sponsors. We have Beckett and we have Socks. Those are our new sponsors, but they do not know their job yet. They do not understand their job quite yet. And so I'm trying to get them trained and used to what they do as sponsors, because it's a heavy responsibility. And yeah, they just don't quite have it together. So, okay, Mr. Beckett, are you ready to go out? These cats, especially Socks, had, well, actually both of them had quite a bit of trauma this weekend. Yes, but they survived. So, they'll learn in time, I hope so. Yeah, I hope so. Socks has got his name because he has white socks, white feet. And this one got his name Beckett because well, two reasons. We have a nephew on Elton's side whose name is Beckett, and that's his first name. And the people where these guys came from, their last name was Beckett. So, double duty. All right, he's going to go out because otherwise he thinks that he should be on the table at all times. And he looks kind of cranky in the way I'm showing you to him, but he's not. He is a very loving kitty. All right, you go find Elton. Yeah, you go find him. If I don't shut him out, he is a jumper. That's the cat that, I think I told you guys this, but that's the cat that was on the roof the other day. And I had just stepped up to the kitchen window where the sink is in the kitchen. There's a window there and a brick ledge outside. And from nowhere, that cat just dropped onto the brick ledge. About scared me silly. And he's done that more than once. So I didn't dream it up. Yeah. Anyway, I'll tell you more about their trauma as we get going. Okay, so happy belated Thanksgiving. And it's good to be here. It's good to see you all. I hope that you had a good Thanksgiving. I'm sure I'm full of white cat hair now. I hope that you had a thankful Thanksgiving. And we are, I did. Many things to be thankful for. Tops on the list is that my house got sold and closed and all of that's done, and I'm just so, like, yes. Anyway, so that's done. We'll talk more about that as we get going. So let us look at, get stuff out of the way here. There we go. So meanwhile, back in the holiday journal, we are going to come in here, and what I've done so far is just make notes on the various pages so I know what happened on these days, so I can go back and add pictures and so forth and so on. And so I have all the gnomes in here that I'm going to put in here, but I don't have all the gnomes completely finished, so we're going to finish those up tonight. And maybe what we're going to do is make some little fabric trims that I can use on various pages. So if we have time, we'll do that. I got to find the ones that, okay, he's done. Got to find the ones that I added. Got everything done except the line work. That's all that's left to do. So here we go. Okay. here's this pair. So let's zoom in, and we got hopefully got the exposure on the camera set up so we can use this camera. Yeah. Thank you, Rhonda. Thank you, thank you. Okay, so I need a piece of paper. So I'm just going to use a little, it's just a little notebook, pad of paper. And I have my assortment of pens that are out. And I have some Posca pens, which are the white ones. I have a white Jelly Roll, which may or may not work. And then I have a Pilot multi-ball pen if I need that. I will probably just stick with using these, which are the King Art permanent pens and also the Micron Pigma pens. So those are the ones I will probably use. Here are the other ones in case I had those off camera, which could be. This is probably what I'm going to use. And I need one more pen, which is the 005. I have it over here. And so we have that ready to go. Okay. Are we ready? Let's do it. So we're going to look at this and just kind of get a grip on what size pen I want to use. Let's start with an 01. And we'll chat. Actually, I'm going to start with the 005, the teeny tiny one, because I'm going to do this. I'm going to start over here with this little ornament that's hanging from this little gnome's hat. And I will look at the chat here in a little bit. But for the moment, I'm going to just kind of do this, and hopefully the sound is okay for you guys. And we'll talk. So let's see. Boy, it is hard to talk and do this. I will tell you that. Hopefully my head's going to get in the way. When I'm zoomed in this far, sometimes my head gets in the way, so I will try to not do that. Anyway. Talk here in a minute. This is fiddly little detail here. Okay, so we got those little outlines done, and I'm going to put in some veining. Just suggestions of veins in the leaves. They don't have to be too meticulous. But the outlines just kind of give it that, it kind of sharpens, it just sharpens everything up. All right, let's do this one. This is an 01, so this is twice as heavy, the line's twice as heavy as what I was just using. Okay, there we go. So we've got his little ornament outlined. Yeah, it looks kind of cute. I can handle that. Okay. You can see, okay, good. So, Wednesday night, my son and his wife and their dog, Golden Retriever Bella, flew in from California to Kansas City, and they stayed, I don't know what time they got there, but they stayed in Kansas City overnight. And okay, to be continued. Because it's really hard for me to talk and do this at the same time. So, how about if I do this one, then we'll stop and talk? That might be the safest thing. I'm letting the outlines on these be kind of squiggly on purpose. Kind of hit and miss. And trying to keep my head out of the shot here. I will tell you, it is hard to do this and keep a consistent train of thought. So, this may be a quiet stream, so visit amongst yourselves while I'm doing this, and then we will stop and we will visit, and I'll tell you about Thanksgiving and Bella, the golden retriever, coming to meet and traumatize Socks and Beckett. They all ended up to be friends, but boy, it took a minute. Okay, we're going to get the rest of this little Santa gnome figure here. I'm going to turn this a little bit. Okay, he's got boots on down here. Okay. And every so often, if you're doing this, you need to clean off the pen tip, as if you don't, you will clog it up with the acrylic paint. It's real good about doing that. Okay, so we're going to keep going. Let me finish this little gnome personality here, and then we'll check the chat. Okie doke. So we have that part of his hat done. And so let's do the rest of his hat here. Now you can do a lot of line work to make design work in the stripes to make them look like they're knitted. Like each stripe is knitted in a different pattern or whatever. You know, I debated about that and I decided I'm not going to do that. I'm just not. Because the point of this journal is not as much about the gnome figures and the little snow people that I've added. It's not as much about that as it is about the writing and photographs and whatever I choose to stick into this journal. Kind of keep track of what we did on those days. So I decided I was just going to let the stripy colors be just stand on their own. But you certainly can add knitted patterns and things like that, because you can do some really cool designs. And I really thought about it, and then I thought, nah. I'm just gonna let the colors stand and speak for themselves. Okay, we got this little guy. Got him all outlined. And before I stop and look at the chat and stuff, let me do this little bow on this present. And while we're here, we're just gonna do the outline the present also. Okay, I can live with that. Okay, now I can breathe for a minute. That fiddly little detail stuff like that down here and this little bitty stuff, yeah, that can make you a little crazy. Let's see where I need to extend this line just a little bit. Okay. Okay, let's stop and chat for a minute, shall we? Okay. Hello, Starla. Hello. Hi, Dorothy. Good to see you. I'm so glad you're here. So, anyway, I'll tell you what our Thanksgiving was like. So, son, wife, and dog, big golden retriever dog, big, all flew in from California to Kansas City, and then they stayed at a hotel that night because I got in kind of late. Then the next day, Elton and I loaded up all the stuff that we had fixed, and then we drove to Kansas City, picked them up, went to his daughter's, in Kansas City and had Thanksgiving with his daughter and his other daughter and her boyfriend and her daughter. So it was a daughter and a granddaughter, two daughters and one granddaughter, and a boyfriend and us, my son, his wife, a golden retriever, two cats live in that house. They did not even show themselves. But Bella did very well. She was very well behaved, which we expected her to be. And that was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. We had a great day together. It was the first time that we've kind of blended our family together since we got married. They were all at our wedding a year ago. But it's the first time we've all kind of blended together for a holiday, and it went, to be honest, I was a little nervous. I was a little nervous. I was more than a little nervous. Elton wasn't nervous. He just goes with the flow. Yeah. And so it was, the food was good. Elton did the turkey. He did the turkey on the charcoal grill, did a turkey and a big turkey breast, and they were delicious. I did a mashed potato dish that his daughter asked me to make called Colcannon. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but it's an Irish mashed potato dish. It was really good. And no drama traveling like in the past. Wasn't it your honeymoon trip? We've had several interesting travel things. But this was exceptional. It really was. We had a great time. Bella just behaved herself so beautifully. And we were there for the day, and we watched the Kansas City Chiefs football game. They did not win, and then we all got piled in the car, got things cleaned up at the daughter's house, and then we left and came back here. And that's where Socks and Beckett like to come in twice a day. They like to come in the morning and sleep in the sunshine. They like to come in at night and be just snuggled on the couch with us for a while. But there was a dog, a big bad dog. And Bella's not used to cats, but she's just curious about them. And so, the cats were like, what happened? And they just, tails got like so big, and they ran under couches, and it was pretty funny. By, Saturday, it took until Saturday. They were here for two nights, and it took until Sunday for the cats and the dog to kind of touch noses, and the cats to go, oh, she's not going to eat us. So it was pretty funny. Frantic feline stress is correct. Hey, Amber, good to see you. Yeah, it was so funny. Anyway, that all, I wasn't sure how that was going to go. I knew Bella wasn't going to hurt him or anything, but they didn't know that Bella wasn't going to hurt him. So there you go. Anyway, so then we drove back to take them back to the hotel in Kansas City on, my days are all, mushed together. That was on Saturday. We met a friend of mine and we visited with her, had dinner, watched the MU football game, MU Arkansas football game. And then when that was over, we took son and his wife back to took them to the, hotel. I'm trying to do this and talk, and it's just challenging. Took them to the hotel with Bella and left them, said goodbye, And then we took off and drove almost to Joplin, Missouri. Not quite, but almost. Because we were then going to meet Elton's nephew and wife and their 7 kids at church on Sunday. They're the ones that have the 2 little guys that have Down syndrome. One is a biological child, the other one they adopted. And so we hadn't seen them for quite a while, actually. We've seen some of the kids, but we hadn't seen the 2 little boys. Boy, are they growing. Oh my goodness. Sutter, who is the little one who came from Serbia, is now using a walker. We never honestly thought he would walk at all in any capacity. And he is now using a walker. And he is just motivating all over the place. He's quite the handsome young dude. And the other little guy is funny. He walks everywhere. He's an escape artist, and they have to have special locks on their doors. Otherwise, he will just take himself on a walkabout and leave the house. Yeah, he's funny. But that was just such a neat thing for us to get to see little Sutter using his walker. And just going everywhere. It was just, honestly, I just had to not let myself get too caught up in the emotions, or that is one of those where I would really get caught in the emotions of just all the emotions. Okay, so we have a snowman with a little carrot nose. All right. And now we're going to do the snowman's hat, and then we will be pretty much together with this little illustration. Anyway, that was just such a neat experience to get to see the progress that the boys have made. And seeing them make progress in ways that we truly honestly didn't think, especially Sutter, because he had such a rough start. He was in a crib for 2.5 years and heavily medicated. And when they picked him up and brought him back to the States, his spine, his backbone, well, you could feel all of the bones in his spine. Just unbelievable how thin, very thin he was. He couldn't even hold his little head up. And I will tell you, that little guy has made progress. They were told that he would probably never sit up and would never be able to crawl or do anything. And he has proven everyone wrong. And he is my little boyfriend, I will tell you that. What a sweetheart. And he doesn't, he's nonverbal, but boy does he like to make eye contact. And he says volumes with his little eyes, just volumes. He communicates. He has no problem communicating with you his likes and wants and dislikes, for sure. For sure. He is a miracle boy. He really is. He's so cute. So, so cute. Where did you send it, Dorothy? Can you tell me where you sent it? And I'll see if I can find it. I would love to share that. Actually, we'll figure out a way for you to get it to me on this week, and I'll show it on Friday. Okay? So, yeah, I have to show you a picture of this little guy. Okay, are you ready? Look at this. That's his walker. And, I mean, he motivates. He just motivates right on around in that little walker. It's a really neat walker. See him? He just takes off and he just goes where he wants to go. He's not the one that escapes. The other little one is the one that escapes. He's a character, that other one. The other little guy had cataracts. They discovered that he had cataracts when he was just, I don't know if he was a matter of weeks old or if he was just like, a couple of months old. I don't really remember. I wasn't part of the story then. So they had to remove his cataracts when he was just tiny, tiny. Otherwise he would have been totally blind. And so they got the cataracts off, and then they have had contact lenses in his eyes for a long time. They have now gone to glasses because the contacts, he's in school, and that's really hard to manage. So anyway, he has glasses, and he does pretty well, but his vision is very limited, but he does see. I know they are, Rhonda. He does have a very unstoppable spirit. He really does. When he came at 2.5, they're now going to be 6. I think they'll be 6 this spring. They're just like a week apart in age, the two little guys. I think they'll be 6. I think. I kind of lost track. Anyway. What was I going to tell you? Blip. But when they first came here, Sutter was very long, because he was the length of a 2.5-year-old, but he just had no body mass. And so all they did was feed him. I mean, he was just like a little bird. He'd lay in their arms. He was like a little bird. His little mouth was just open all the time, and they fed him all kinds of food. They supplemented him with like kind of an Ensure type product, that they gave to him. That was a supplement that had the vitamins and all that stuff. I mean, it's just like, it was unbelievable what all they did. Mostly with that little guy, they just fed him. Mostly they fed him. Yeah. It was a real miracle to follow his progress. Anyway, there's this guy, okay? So we're going to we'll let those guys kind of sit, and I'm sure I will add things to them as we go along, but let's work on this guy, shall we? I don't remember how much of these I did on camera, how much of these I did off camera, but anyway, here they are. Okay? So let's go for this one. Yeah, so we spent, we didn't go all the way to where they live. On Saturday night, we were really pretty tired. So we stopped and spent the night. And I'm sorry if my head gets in the way. I'm trying to keep it out of the shot, but anyway. Then we met them at church, and we went to a Mexican restaurant for lunch. So there were 11 of us eating at the Mexican restaurant. Now, this family doesn't eat out a whole lot. But when those kids get the opportunity to eat out, it is so much fun to watch them. And I don't know any kids that enjoy eating out any more than those 7 kids enjoy eating. And the 2 little guys are so... It's amazing how well behaved they are. As long as you feed them. You do have to feed them. They're good eaters. Super good eaters. Okay, that's his little walking stick. All right, let's come around here like this. I know my voice probably sounds a little hoarse or something, but it's just because I'm a little tired today. So we had lunch after church with them, and then we had taken a pretty big cooler full of beef to them. The dad is a professor at a school in Joplin. It's a Bible college, and he teaches missions. And every semester they invite over all of their students, his students, for a meal at their house. And he has a lot of students. So we try to help out with taking meat to them. Every so often we'll do that. And the kids are they're so funny. It's like when they're unpacking the cooler, they're like, "Oh, look!" You know, they're so excited about. And one of the little girls, they have 2 little girls that are 7 and 8, I believe, or they're either 7 and 8 or 8 and 9. They're very close in age, and they look like twins. Little blonde hair. I mean, it's taken me forever to be able to tell them apart. And I'm not sure that I totally tell them apart to this day. And of course, they like to play on that and, you know, say, "No, I'm not. I am," you know, and they're giving me a bunch of grief because they know I have trouble telling them apart. And one of the girls, her baby teeth did not want to come out, and so they ended up having to go in and surgically remove teeth, baby teeth. And it was traumatic for that little girl. Just traumatic. Bless her heart. And they removed 10 teeth. Can you imagine? 10 teeth. Baby teeth that just refused to come out. It was quite a lot of trauma for her little mouth. She was not happy when she woke up after the anesthetic wore off. She was not a happy camper. Okay, so there is our little gnome Santa guy on from his hat down and his walking stick. And so let's keep going here. If you have questions, put them in all caps. I will look at the chat here in a minute. Anyway, poor little thing. She's recovered now, but boy, she went through some stuff getting those teeth out. Okay, I gotta get my chat back because I lost it. Okay, so let me stop for a second and see if there are questions, comments, etc. Hey, Jamie, good to see you. How are you? Okay, Rhonda wanted to know if the two little guys are best buds. They're getting used to each other. I don't know that they are actually real bonded to each other, but they know where each other, where the other one is and stuff, but I'm not sure how well they're bonded to each other yet. Okay. It's on my Yoo-hoo. I don't have Yoo-hoo, Dorothy, so we're going to have to try another route. How about if we try, you might try it on Instagram. Your daughter had to have baby teeth removed too. Woo! Yeah, 10. Good, Jamie. I think about you so often. Yeah, and Jamie and her husband have been going through some stuff. Going through all kinds of stuff going on in that world. I imagine you all had quite the Thanksgiving. Is he home yet, Jamie? Okay, let me keep going here. And I'll keep yakking, trying to while I'm doing this. All right, let's work on this little bow and wreath that he's got here, okay? So after we unloaded the beef and stuff at their house. Then we went to Sam's Club there. And we, the little girls and Mom and the two of us went to Sam's. And we were filling out a request. Well, I don't know how to describe this. If Elton was listening, he could describe it. The dad, who I said is, he teaches missions at the Bible college. And he is going to Haiti sometime this month, December. And he is taking supplies to, I'm not sure where they're going, but anyway, he's taking supplies. I think it's to a school. And they haven't had any supplies come in. They only get supplies by boat, as I understand it. And they haven't had any supplies come in for a year, unless people physically take them. Supplies. So that's what's happening. And so people have been contributing supplies, and they are taking these, all of this food stuff, which was on a list. They're taking all that food stuff to Haiti. And I'm like, whoa, boy. Okay, I got to concentrate here for a minute, folks. Okay, I keep holding my breath. So anyway, we went to Sam's Club with the list of things, and they are allowed, there's 4 of them going. They each are taking 2 big suitcases or crate suitcases or something that they're wheeling in full of food to take into the place where they need to go. Okay? So our job was to fill out the list. And woo-wee, it was the little girls had the best time. This family lived on the mission field for years. And they lived in different places doing mission work. And so all the kids are familiar with missions and giving to other people and dealing with people that are far less fortunate than they are. And so the kids are really good about helping helping fill out the, oh, they need this, and oh, is this on the list? And, Mom would say to the little girls, okay, look for, and off they'd go looking for whatever it was that was on the list. It was pretty funny. And Elton pushed the cart. And yeah, it was quite the ordeal. We had a lot of food. I'm not quite sure how they're going to get it all there, but here's hoping they do. Okay. All right, let me back up and look just a little bit and see how we're doing here. I think we got this one. Yeah, that sharpened him up a little bit. Okay. You're still in the hospital? Okay. Maybe next week. I'm doing pretty good. Oh, that's good, Jamie. That's good. All right, Rhonda needs new Christmas tree lights. Warm or cool? I don't know. I kind of like warm, but I don't know. Jamie likes the cool lights because they're brighter. Yeah, everybody's going to be split on warm or cool. That's what I think. Anyway. Bye, Denise. Good to see you. You like this guy? Oh, good. Thanks, Amber. Okay, so here is this guy, and I think I got all the outlines on him, I think, done. So he's kind of sharpened up, and he's looking a little clearer. Okay, let's go on to the next one. This is the next guy. I think I have two more. Let's see. That one and this one. Oh, no, I have one more back here. So we have three more to do. You guys up for it? I hope so. Okay, I will zoom in a little bit more, which means there's a high probability that my head will get right in here. I'm going to try not to. Okay, here we go. So anyway, we filled the cart. I should say, the little girls had the best time filling the cart full of all the things from the list. Then we took it in the house. We put stuff where they wanted it, in the freezer, etc. And then we left and headed back home. Because we had a pretty lengthy trip to get back home. And so we got back home last night about 9:30. Listened to the weather report, and they were calling for snow this morning. Or no, it was supposed to start this afternoon. Except it started this morning. So it snowed here pretty much all day. Some accumulation. I mean, it's not as bad as sometimes, for sure. But it was beautiful. And both cats, the Socks and Beckett, were very happy to come inside and snuggle up on a fleece blanket. They could not have been happier to be inside today. Oh, they're funny boys. Okay. You know, you've heard me talk about Elton making Texas sheet cakes, right? And we called him the lunch lady. Well, we had a Texas sheet cake in the freezer. And the kids in this family and their dad love Uncle Elton's Texas sheet cake. So we took a nice a nice frozen Texas sheet cake, which is basically a chocolate sheet cake with chocolate frosting down there. And when we took that in, as soon as the kids saw it, they're like, Texas sheet cake, Uncle Elton's cake. And they're like, they're having the best time. Okay, let's I'm using the 005 pen because this little snowman is really tiny. In case you can't tell, he's real tiny. So I need a tiny little nib in order to do the outlines on some of these little things here. Tiny. Anyway, so my voice is it's kind of gone to sleep. I think I'm going to need another night of good sleep tonight to catch up. Okay. And he's got the tiniest little carrot nose, you guys. Let's see if we can... Tiny little carrot nose. All right. And then he's got a little tiny hat. This is like painting in miniature right here. Okay. Now I'm going to go along the stripes and outline the stripes a little bit. Kind of hit and miss. Whew, got it. Okay, and then we've got the snowball, the bottom snowball of our snowman needs to be outlined here. Okay, snowman is outlined. And so are the letters. That's good. All right, going to the other wider nibbed pin. I'm going to work on the sign here. So anyway, we got home about 9:30 last night. Cats were delighted. They also wanted to know where we exactly had been because they didn't get their wet food in the morning. They had plenty of dry food, but they did not have their wet food that they enjoy having in the mornings. So they were like, well, it's about time the staff returned. Okay, there's our little sign outlined. And now we're ready to work on the big gnome. And if you're talking to me in chat, I will be back checking with you in a minute. I have to do this with my glasses off And so I can't see the chat while I'm doing this part of it. So we're going to kind of outline some of the floof a little bit, and I think we can, that's all we have to do with the little tiny pen. So go back to the bigger nib, and let's see, let's start down here with our little gnome's face. I do love these little guys. They have been extremely time consuming, but they've been a lot of fun. I need to do this where I can see it straight on. I'm having a moment here trying to get my hand in the right position. Okay, here we go. Hopefully you can see okay. Okay. And then I'm going to just, because it's a little easier to do, I'm just going to come around here. And I'm going to outline this, his hat, differently than I did the other one. So I'm going to kind of outline each little section. So I hope you guys were able to find things to be thankful for during your Thanksgiving, if you celebrate Thanksgiving. You know, the one thing I found out is that no matter what, there's always something to be grateful for, always. Sometimes you have to kind of stretch a little bit, especially when you go through some really challenging things. I know that last Thanksgiving that Clausman was alive, he didn't have any idea what Thanksgiving was, and I ordered it from the grocery store, and you know, it was okay. It was tolerable. And he didn't have any idea it was Thanksgiving, nor what Thanksgiving was, for that matter. But, you know, I was acutely aware of the fact that it was going to be the last time we were going to do that together, and that becomes its own mix of emotions, because I was grateful to have one more holiday with him, and at the same time I was like, it was just such a, it was like being in a twilight zone. It was just so strange. Very strange mix of emotions that year. And yet, you know, somehow I was still able to find some things to be grateful for. That being present and in the moment is really key when you're going through stuff like that. You just got to be present. Because if you get sucked into the future, boy, your mind can play Lots of tricks on you. When I'm doing this, I'm just rattling, so don't take anything I say too seriously. Okay. So there's that. All right, let's get his beard here. Again, not kind of keeping this kind of in a sketchy outline as I do this. Not always necessarily catching every outer edge, but close, you know, close enough. Okay, he's got little boots. And then his little, the tops of his boots, or where the toes are, come right around here. And a sole, kind of a sole coming around. Okay. I'm going to kind of outline the toes of his boots, just kind of a little dashed line coming across the toes of his little boots. All right, let's back up and take a look at him, see what we think. I think he's looking pretty good. He needs more shadow under his feet and under the snowman. He's still kind of floating a little bit. All in all, he's not looking bad. Okay, question. You like they made his coat purple? I do too. Hey, Julie. Jamie says, hubby. Hubby and her mothers were both lunch ladies, and they did the sweets. Oh, that's neat. It was absolutely chocolate. It's the kind of chocolate that'll kill you. Hey, Allie K, good to see you. That Texas sheet cake, I'm telling you, it is definitely chocolate. The chocolate sheet cake, chocolate frosting, it is a very chocolate. Yes, it is. Very chocolate. Okay, so I think we're going to let this little guy, I think he looks just fine, other than he'll need a little more shading under his feet. Where did I do that on some? Like this one, see how I put another little bit of shading right there where his feet are? That helps to anchor. This suggests the ground. This kind of, and this, even though they're not totally realistic, it just helps to anchor the figure a little better. And I did that a couple other places. Let's see if I can figure out where I added extra shading. Maybe back this way. Yeah, down on this one I added a little bit more down here to kind of help set them on the ground. Okay. And so we've got that one done, and that, and that. Okay, let's come to this one. I added this one on December 31st, so this is the page for December 31st. So I used several little illustrations online and put them, the parts of them that I liked. I was inspired by various, online things. And I kind of put them all together. This is like a watch, like a pocket watch. Although, let's be honest, he has no pocket big enough for that. And some balloons, and I did him in blue, various blues, and metallic. This is metallic silver and gold. And this is metallic silver and gold. Okay. And so we're going to do him. Oh, cool. Do a Christmas mandala. Good for you, Allie. I would love to see that. Okay, so let's do this little guy and see if we can kind of make him kind of come to life here. And I think after that, the only one we have left is the one at the very back. Yep. Okay, so let's do this one. So he's got balloons. All right, let's go for it and see what we can do here. Again, I hope my head doesn't get in the way, but if it does, I think you'll forgive me. I'm not a big New Year's celebrator, but one of Elton's daughters was born on New Year's Eve. So it's more of a celebration than it used to be for me. I used to just stay home on New Year's Eve. Stay away from all the crazy people. One year we had really bad weather here, like snow and ice, and it was a mess. People just abandon, they're going home after they've been out carousing and drinking and stuff all night long, and man, they just abandon their cars. They'd slide off the road and then they'd just get out and walk, leave their car until another time, because they knew if they got caught, they're going to be in big trouble. I thought it was kind of funny myself, but I'm kind of like that. I kind of laugh about some things that maybe I shouldn't laugh about. I did find it funny, though. Okay. And then let's outline his little pom-pom on his little hat. Okay. And then his hat is just kind of slouchy. Kind of a slouchy rim and just kind of slouching down, so we're just gonna put in a few little sketchy lines there for that. All right, I'm gonna do the balloons last, I think, or maybe the pocket watch will be last. Anyway, let's keep going down here. So this is his little sleeve with a little mitten. his little mitten hand. And over here he has his little other mitten. Okay, so there's that. All right, let's do his, he has giant feet. I mean, these are giant. But I thought they were funny, so I left them. I left them real giant. All right, they're kind of funny little feet, funny big feet. And his beard was, the way I drew it was very strange, so I kind of remodeled it as I as I painted it in, and it looked much better. Okay, let's see what we can do with this watch. We're going to outline the outside of it. And then the inside. Okay. So we have kind of the outside and the inside of his little watch. And then I'm going to put in the numbers. I think I can still see them. I sketched them in here. So here we go. Let's see if I can do it. I'm going to look at my pattern. Okay. Here's my little pattern. So let's see if I can do this. Okay, this is V. This is VI. This is 3 right here. And here is 2. Okay, believe me, this is not accurate. Okay, up here is XI. Here's X. Here's IX. Here's, okay, there's 6. This is V. There's 7. And then V. Okay, so they're just kind of suggestions of numbers, okay? Don't give me any grief. It's just suggestions of a clock. Just a suggestion. And then we're going to take the hands. And we're going to suggest 12 o'clock. It's just a suggestion, okay? Just a suggestion. Okay, let's see how it looks from afar. You can tell it's a clock. It's okay. It's all right. Okay, let me keep going with the balloons up here. Okay, we're going to go this way. All right, and we're going to do the next balloon, which is going to be this one. Okay, so we got that one. And we have one more balloon, this one. Okay. There's the little part of the balloon that where the air is. Okay, here we go. All right, and then we have this one. Coming, and this one is coming. Let's see, how's that one? Right about here. Coming down, kind of like, let's see. Yeah, we'll just let it be kind of down there. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to thicken up the strings just a little bit more. Okay, so there's our balloons, and I probably am going to write something on the balloons, but I'm not going to do that on camera because that's asking way too much of me. Way too much. So that's our New Year's Eve, December 31st little guy. I think he looks pretty cute. Okay. All right, let me come back over here to you guys for a minute. You think his pocket is under his Jamie says his big ass pocket's probably under his beard. It could be. Amber sent me a Christmas card. I haven't been to the post office box for a bit, so it may be right there waiting on me. I used to say gnome time is my time. I know. I know nobody would ever give me grief. I do like the space that I have. The challenge for me is it's split into two. At the other house, I was used to having the studio was one big space. So the broadcast part with all of this stuff, the art supplies, was in one space, and just, like, I don't know, 6 steps away was the sewing part. And so the challenge here is that it is at the sewing room, which is its own room, which is great, is at the other end of the house. So if I'm not thinking I'm going to do a sewing thing here on the stream, if I'm not thinking and gathering all my stuff, I got to go trucking down the hall to get my stuff. Hey, Signa. So that's just something I'm having to get used to, that's all, But other than that, it's working out very well. It caused me to really trim down. I know this doesn't look like I have trimmed down, but I have trimmed down my stuff and make sure that I have it pretty well organized. I'm sure within a few months I will go back through it and trim more stuff down and get rid of more stuff, you know, because that's just what I'm going to have to do. I'm making decisions about what I'm going to use and what's useful to me now, because everything changes. You know, you go through those metamorphosis times where you just kind of have to go, well, I'm not using that anymore, so why would I keep it, kind of stuff. I did a lot of that, but I'm sure I'm going to do a lot more of it. Yeah. Okay, so this guy is going to need more shadowing under his feet, which I can do with pencils or paint or whatever, but he'll need a little bit more of that. Needs his letters on his balloons, but other than that, he's pretty much done. Okay, then let's come back and outline this little, trim this one up, and then we will have all of these little gnomes together. Okay, so I'm going to come back to what I'm doing here, and then, what is this? Owen. I'm going to come back and do this, and then I'll come back and visit with you guys again. Okay? All right. Let's start with, I think we'll start with our little snow guy. Who has on kind of a slouchy little top hat kind of thing. Yep. Sometimes my hand and my head just don't like to communicate. So sometimes you just gotta sometimes you have to make lemonade out of lemons. All right, let's outline these little trim things. This was just purely so that the colors went together. Sometimes that's the only reason that I move a color into a space, is because I need it to balance from somewhere else on the image or on the Santa figures that I used to do so many of. Okay, so there's our little carrot nose. And let's do his little arms and mittens here. Okay. All right, there's one. And now we got another one over here. Part of his little stick arm is showing there, not a lot of it. Okay, good enough. And then let's do his little scarf. Okay, and then we have his little snowballs. Okay, there's one. This watercolor paper is wearing the nib down on this pen very quickly. I mean, the nib is just about totally gone. Well, we're just going to switch to a different pen because the nib on that one is just, the felt part of it is just gone away. Okay, good enough. Okay, let's finish up on the gnome guy. And then we can always come back and see what else needs to be done. But let's come over here to this guy. Okay, so we have that, and we have its little hat. When my son was home, we took meaning he, not me, he fixed the image of Clarence, the dog that I did for the Christmas card. He fixed it, took the photo, kind of trued it up for me because he can do it so much faster than I can. And then we uploaded it to get it printed. And about an hour later, we did that with persnickety prints, which I've used before. I do really like their service. And about 2 hours later, I got a text saying that the order was done and being prepared for shipping. Yeah. I had no idea that they could do it that quickly. Amazing. Anyway, good service from those folks. If you need somebody to do prints for you, I do recommend them. Okay, so this is mustache. Mustache. Okay, and we're gonna do some add some little lines to his mustache. And I'm going to add a little texture to his little beard here. Okay, because there was just such a big expanse of white there that's like, no, we're going to have to add a little more detail. Okay, around the beard. Okay. And now we have a foot under here. We have a foot over here. We have a mitten. And an arm. Okay, and then he's got some patches, again, for the purpose of making the color work. That's why he's got patches on his little shirt. And then I'm going to add just a few little lines to help give his hat a little slouchier look. Okay. Okay, let me come back and see you guys. I'll leave this pair right here. But I lost my chat, so let me get it back. Alright, I think they look okay. They need a little bit more ground under them, but other than that, they're okay. Okay. I'm just reading the chat. Rhonda's debating on getting rid of scrapbooking supplies. Yeah, as soon as you get rid of something, guaranteed you're going to want to use it. Guaranteed. That's the way that works. Yeah, that's the way that guy goes. Yeah, his little pom-pom is almost a heart, isn't it, Starla? Shutterfly's cheap and the prints are a killer in shipping. This was, the shipping on this was, it wasn't bad. It would have been free if I was willing to wait, you know, for a length of time, you know, like, I don't know, a week or something. It probably would have still come through pretty quickly. The shipping probably would have come through quickly, but we went ahead and paid for, I think it was 3-day shipping, and it still wasn't bad for 100 prints. Anyway, yeah, so they're not here yet, but when they come, I'll show them to you, because we'll probably make Christmas cards here one night. I'm going to have to, getting the pictures is just half the fun. Then you got to put them together, right? Yeah, I don't know how this is all going to go. Anyway, okay, so let's, I'll take you through the book one more time, and then we will call it, we'll probably call it a night. Yeah. Okay, so this still has not been glued on the front cover. I just haven't done it yet. So this is going to go on the front cover. So this is the gnome house, right? That's going to go on the front cover at some point. This is the title page, so this is going to, I still have to put the words on here. So that's what that is, the title page. And then this is Thanksgiving Day. So this has all the stuff on it. I have been taking photos every day, so I'll have pictures to put in. So this is this little guy. I think he's one of my favorites because he just looks like he just has a big secret. Yeah. I think I just like the expression on that little guy's face back there. So not every page will have... I like him because he's just squat. He's just squat, you know? He's just a squatty body little old guy, you know? He's funny. He's not my favorite, but I think he is funny. And here's this little guy with patches on his hat to match his robe, and plaid from the blue of his hat. I made a plaid down there so he would go together. And he has spots on his beard and his mustache. I do like polka dots on beards and mustache sometimes, just because they're fun, you know? And this little guy is just kind of, you know, I don't know what he's thinking about. I like him because he's colorful. And let's see, we should be getting back over to one that we did tonight. This one. So this is one we did tonight. That hat is so big, that little gnome is going to fall right over, isn't he? Yep. Or maybe it's the ornament on his hat that it's really heavy. So this is the other one we did the outlining on tonight. I don't know where he's going, but he's trucking on, isn't he? And then this one that we did, this says Merry Christmas on the sign. It really kind of bleeds out if you don't get it up real close to the camera. Other than that, it's a little hard to see. And then I think the next one was the New Year's Eve. Yeah, this guy, the New Year's Eve guy with his whoop-ass pocket watch that says midnight. His balloons are going to say Happy New Year, I think. Or something, some flavor of that. And then there's the last one that we just did. So I think, by George, we got the gnomes done. We got all the gnomes in here that I wanted to do. I'm glad you're here, Jamie. Thank you for hanging out with us for a little bit. I'm glad that we were here. That we were here for you. And, yeah. I hope you get home soon. Everybody gets home and things continue to go really well. Yeah. Anyway, okay, you guys. I'm going to take off and I will be back on Friday. Maybe we'll be able to make Christmas cards together. I don't know. The prints should be here by then. Hopefully they look good. I am going to have fun in this journal. It's a nice, big, chunky one. Look, that's a chunky monkey. It's a chunky monkey. And what else? The other thing I was going to do tonight, but I'm not. But what I was going to do is I was going to take this. And this is just like scrap interfacing. And I have all these Christmas prints here. And I was going to rip them into some little squares. And I was going to stitch the little squares onto this little interfacing thing so that I would have some like trims, like banners or garlands or whatever, but just little squares of the different colors of red and green to be able to add to the pages. Because there are going to be some days that I'm going to need some extra stuff. So I thought, that's a good way to kind of bulk up the pages. Anyway. All right. It's good to see you all. I hope you have a good rest of your week. And I will be back on Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern. It's so good to spend some time with you. Thank you for hanging out with me. It's never lost on me that you choose to spend your time here. And I appreciate you being here. So enjoy the rest of your week, do something nice for somebody else. Especially if you're having, if you're struggling, it does help if you can do something for someone else. And this is a time of year that we do tend to, some of us, myself included, tend to kind of get in the weeds a little bit. So it helps to do something for somebody else, like go to Sam's and fill up a huge cart full of food that's going to go to Haiti and feed a bunch of kids. You know, that's a good feeling. It's a good feeling to do something for somebody else. Okay, with that, I'm going to take off. I hope you have a good evening if you're watching live, and if not, thanks for watching any other time. If you want to hit the thumbs up, that'd be great. And if you haven't subscribed, I'd love for you to do that. So anyway, I will see you before you know it. As always, remember to get creative today because, you know, it's easy. I'll see you before you know it. See you on Friday. Okay, bye everybody.